Hello and welcome to the Long Island Weather Update. It's 10 o'clock, August 14th, 2024. And you can see that we had that smoke today. Definitely a bit of haze in the sky. It was definitely more, you can see there's worse stuff up to the north that's coming our way. Most of the smoke is aloft, but you still sense that the air quality definitely wasn't as good today. There were also some pop-up showers and even some thunderstorms up further north in the interior of New York State. And there were some showers in Connecticut. And yeah, there was lightning with these. There was thunderstorms. You saw my little short about that. So as far as what the sky looked like today, this is what one of the showers looked like. You know, very low topped. Not nothing really that high. But other than that, you can definitely see the haze in the air. Another look at it from there, and the sunset, especially at sunset, you can see the sun really orangey, much more orange than normal. So let's go over our current conditions outside right now. And temperatures are around 73 degrees at Farmingdale, 68 at Shirley, 64 at West Hampton. Well, it's dropped there. And 70 at Islip. LaGuardia is still 81. And, of course, my alley still pretty warm as well at 77 degrees. Maybe that's like 76, but still warmer than, everywhere else. Showing 69 in Toms River. Dew points are not quite as low today. Noticed a little more humidity today in the air. And it was warm, too. It got up into the mid-80s as well. So looking at the day at Islip, you'll see the dew points were generally in around 60 degrees. Still relatively comfortable humidity levels. That's going to start changing as we get into Friday. Let's go over our highs today. Mid-80s pretty much for everywhere. No sea breezes at all. The Forks were in the upper it looks like low 80s there, mid-80s in 85 for a high at LaGuardia, 86 at Islip, Central Park 84, and 88 at Newark, and 86 in Toms River. So mid-80s there. It's fairly uniform because of that. Again, we had that northwest wind all day today. Lows, West Hampton got down at 57, Islip got down at 64. Central Park only 67 and 57 in Toms River for lows. Let's look at precipitation. Some areas got a little bit of rain today. It looks like 0.01. Yeah, very little. These showers didn't really produce a whole lot of rain. They were very isolated and very brief. But as you went further upstate, you could see higher amounts approaching maybe quarter to a half an inch where they had more in the way of shower and thunderstorm activity. But for us, not really all that much shower and thunderstorm activity. So let's talk about Ernesto. Let's do that because Ernesto is a hurricane now, and it is strengthening. Latest public advisory. Air Force hurricane hunters find Ernesto is strengthening, and that's no surprise when we look at Ernesto here on the satellite. You'll see here, really, it's starting to really get a nice ring around it, a donut shape. This is a rapidly intensifying hurricane, and I think they now updated the chart to become a major hurricane, as you'll see in a minute. So, as of 8 p.m., the center of Hurricane Ernesto is located near latitude 22.4 north, longitude 68.7 west. Ernesto is moving toward the northwest near 16 miles an hour. A turn toward the north-northwest and north is expected tonight and on Thursday. A northward to northeastward motion at a slower forward speed is expected Friday and Saturday. On the forecast track, the center of Ernesto is expected to pass near Bermuda on Saturday. Data from Air Force Reserve Hurricane Hunter aircraft indicate that the maximum sustained winds have increased to near 80 miles an hour with higher gusts, and strengthening is forecast during the next couple of days. And Ernesto could become a major hurricane by Friday. I have a feeling it might even do so sooner than that. Hurricane force winds extend outward up to 35 miles from the center, and tropical storm force winds extend outward up to 175 miles from the center, and the estimated minimum central pressure is 981 millibars to 8.97 inches. So let's take a look at the latest chart for Ernesto here. Here's the cone, and you see they have it in M briefly. I think it's going to stay in M for a while, actually. You can see here that and Bermuda is now under hurricane watch. So right now, that is the only area that's being threatened right now is Bermuda by this storm, but it is still a major hurricane. It's going to become a major hurricane for sure. And let's go to current storms. We'll take a look at Ernesto on this satellite, and you'll see here definitely a very healthy storm. It's got plenty of warm water to work with, good conditions. And you see the track. Pretty much no disagreements on where this track's going to go. Bermuda, unfortunately, is going to get hit. And then Nova Scotia looks like right now they're in the clear, but perhaps Newfoundland, Atlantic Canada could be dealing with this as well. Some of the models are bringing it there as well. If we look at the intensity data, a number of them bring it to Category 2 or 3, and a few of them bring it to Category 3. And honestly, we've seen how models underestimate the strength of storms. Let's look at our sea surface temperature anomalies in the area that the storm will go over, and you'll see it's got plenty of warm water to work with, especially when it gets to around Bermuda. And actually, it could get it to its strongest when it reaches this latitude here. Look at all these bright yellows. These water temperatures are 6.8 degrees Fahrenheit above normal, where I've got my, I think 6.8 to 7 degrees Fahrenheit above normal in this bright yellow area here. And if we look at the actual sea surface temperatures, yeah, 85. So, yeah, plenty of heat in this area here where those deep reds are. That's enough to support a major hurricane right there. Yeah, this storm is going to be very strong, and I think they're underestimating it once again. That's my own opinion, especially after looking at some of the models and just looking at some of the data that we have, and we're going to go over that in a moment. But first, let's go to our satellite image here. Where did it go? I know here it is. So let's look at the CONUS view here. So kind of show everything, including Ernesto, right just out here. We'll take a longer loop here. So here's Ernesto. Here's the smoke. See how Ernesto is definitely strengthening. Here's the smoke. You can see smoke in the west as well. And you can see, again, that smoke is coming down. And it looks like there's a lot of smoke now over the northwest as well. So let's start over there. Pacific Northwest. Yeah, I see some smoke over there. I'm going to say it's too crazy, but it looks like it is fueling some of these thunderstorms over here. That's not good. They could start more fires if those are thunderstorms. Yeah, that's not good at all. So we're seeing a lot of lightning. These thunderstorms here on the California-Oregon border could actually wind up starting a whole bunch of new wildfires, and they don't seem to be moving very much either. So this could be very disturbing. There's a lot of lightning with this, and I'm curious as to how much rain these things are producing. Let's just go and look at the radar right now and see what is going on over there. You can see there are still some showers and thunderstorms over in Maine, but we are going to see a look at this thunderstorm over here. Yeah, this is not good at all. So you see what's going on here. There's nothing here. There's no rain falling. These are dry thunderstorms. So this is going to be very, very bad. There are going to be a whole bunch of new wildfires that are going to be starting in Oregon right now. We do have a squall line, it looks like, over South Dakota as well, and some more thunderstorm activity over Kansas. And those could be severe. So if we go to the Storm Prediction Center, yep, we got that slight risk over there. That's over there in this area right here. So let's go on. And this is not good at all. So it appears that these fires might actually be starting their own thunderstorms, which is not a surprise. I want to take a look at a longer loop at this and see. Because it sure looks like the fires are actually starting thunderstorms. That could happen. You can have pyrocumulonimbus, and those don't produce a whole lot of rain. So we're seeing a lot of lightning, but not much rain. That's not good at all. So let's go look at the Canada northern U.S. view. And you can see plenty of smoke in Canada. Yeah, plenty of smoke. And a lot of smoke here. There's going to be a lot of those. It's not going to be good at all with those. So here's the smoke that we have to deal with. So this is the smoke coming from this area here, Northwest Territories. Looks like there are some clouds over there, so maybe they're getting some rain. But this smoke is going to make its way down over our area. So if we look at we'll look at the paint tool, you'll see here the smoke is going to be coming on down like this. So we're going to be dealing with it for a little bit, I think, and I will show you the models in a minute. It won't be as bad as it could be because we're getting a little bit of a shift in the wind as we get toward Friday, but there's still a lot of smoke up there. As you can see, plenty of smoke Let's go look at the southeastern Alaska view here. Can't really see the fires here. You can see British Columbia. Oh, yeah, that's not good. So a whole lot of fires there as well that are flaring up. We still have the fires going on here. You just can't see them because of the cloud cover. And I'm kind of wondering if there's any rain over there, perhaps. There could be... I don't know if they're getting any rain at all. They might be getting some rain over here, perhaps. But once this westerly flow, once this storm system passes and they get into that westerly flow, that could dry things out again because you have the mountains here that kind of ring. This may be a Pacific air mass, but it hits the mountains and it gets wrung out. You can see all this here. Look at that. That's quite a plume of smoke right there. And you can see right there, it looks like it's trying to form a pyrocumulus or perhaps even a pyrocumulonimbus cloud right there in British Columbia. So we're watching that. So we're watching two things, obviously the smoke and Ernesto with this. So let's go to the observations here across the country, and you'll see here that in the south, we got some heat advisories and excessive heat warnings, severe thunderstorm watch, and one tornado warning in looks like Kansas. So red box right there, and then we have severe thunderstorm warnings around that. Let's see if South Dakota is under any severe thunderstorm warnings. It looks like there's one over there. And then we've got a lot of red flag warnings in Oregon, Idaho, and that's not good at all. They're going to be dealing with some bad conditions over there when it comes to wildfires. And then of course we have the situation in Canada. So let's look at Canada. Look at some of these observations. Look at the temperatures have come down in the northwestern territories a lot. So it's seen temperatures more typical of what they should be in this area. After being in the 90s last week, which was a crazy amount of heat over there. Crazy amount of heat. But I'm sure they're dealing with some smoke, too, as well. So let's look at that. Yeah, they dealt with some smoke yesterday when they had it. But then now it seems like it's improved. It's not always at the surface. Sometimes it's... Let's look at some of these observations here. 20-mile visibility, Iqaluit. They're not dealing with any smoke in Iqaluit. And that's 46 degrees, which is what it should be there. It's more typical of what it should be in that area. But we still have warmer temperatures here. Haze being reported at Fort 7 with 7-mile visibility. Haze being reported in Quebec as well. Look, whatever, I can't pronounce that. It's a French name. You can see Haze. It actually got down to 2-mile visibility as well. Let's see what we got here. They have 10-mile visibility over there. So so far it hasn't diminished the disabilities in the northeast at all. Well, actually, Millinock, it's reporting 7-mile visibility with mist, which is kind of odd that they would have mist. I'm thinking with these dew points there. All right, they are kind of close together, so I guess that could be mist. Don't see any reports of any diminished visibility so far in the United States. Watertown, not seeing anything like that. Burlington, 10-mile visibility, but thunder is being reported there. So, anyway, now that we got all that out of the way, let's look at we have our climate statistics for the day briefly. High of 86 at Islip, low of 65, 2 degrees above normal there. And Central Park, high of 85, low of 67, and that's just about normal for the day. So let's go back to the models now, and we'll talk about what we have coming up. So first starting with the GFS, obviously, and here's Ernesto. So high pressure staying over us. Here's Ernesto. So you can see it's going to track over Bermuda. We're going to have fair weather this week continuing, although there could always a slight chance of a shower. Right now, Saturday looks okay, but it's Sunday that we may have to worry about some rain. But there's sort of like a wedge of high pressure that's going to try to like build in between Ernesto and this low pressure over here that might actually save at least a good chunk of the weekend from being wet. But there's Ernesto, and it looks like it does steer well east of the of Nova Scotia now, which is good news. But it is going to probably hit Bermuda. Well, we'll see if the European has any different idea on this. And All right, that's the 18Z. I need the 12Z. So here's the European. European takes it. Looks like it takes it a little closer to land. You really can't see because this is the CONUS view. So if we want to go a little further, we have to change the regions to. Can't do Eastern U.S. I'll do North Atlantic. So here's the European. It looks like the European does have an impacting Newfoundland on perhaps Tuesday, and that is like a pretty major impact. GFS has it a little further east. So you see the variations. It's not a very big variation. The track, the good thing with this one is that the track's easy to forecast. So it's not, right now it looks like it's pretty cut and dry how this track's going to turn out right now. All right. So, and if we go look at the upper air here, actually, I'll go to the North American view, so show you what goes on here. GFS, you can see there's our trough over the east, kind of pulls it to the north a little bit, and then we have a ridge that's building over Atlantic Canada that kind of might slow its forward progress just a little bit, perhaps. I don't know. There's still a little piece of that trough that pulls it out, and you can see, and then there's an Atlantic ridge. We have a trough right here in the east, so we still have to be careful when you have a trough. You still have to be careful when you have a trough over the Great Lakes and a tropical system over here. We still have to be careful about that. But there isn't a big wedge of high pressure to block it. But if you look at the European, it's a little bit different. So if we look at the European here, it's a lot stronger with that ridge in the Atlantic, and that pushes it closer to Newfoundland. So, now that we've been through that, let's go over the local weather here for us. HRRR for tomorrow. So we're going to start with the precipitation view, and again, there's a chance of possibly a shower, a thunderstorm. I don't know why it's got blue over here. What it's doing? That's some kind of mistake. But you can see it's got a possibility, an isolated. This is going to be more like later in the evening. A slight chance of a shower, a thunderstorm for tomorrow. That's what the HRRR has. As far as the clouds go, let's see if we're going to have a lot of cumulus or not. Looks like we'll have more in the way of upper level clouds, perhaps some jet chunk. And it'll be hazy with all that smoke around too. Let's look at the dew points. Dew points do come up as well tomorrow, so it will be it still shows like the dew points dropped during the day of the 50s. I don't know. That didn't happen today, and it said it was going to happen, so I'm a little skeptical. But it's still, the humidity will still be at fairly comfortable level, starting with the north wind, and then we will have a south wind develop later on. But then as you get toward the evening, it kind of goes more west again. And then Friday, we start off with a westerly wind that turns south. So with the setup on Friday, it's also going to be a little more humid, but it's also going to be hotter. So looking at our temperatures, tonight, probably not going to drop as low as it did last night, probably mid-60s. And then for Thursday, we're going to have highs in the probably similar to where they were today, mid to upper 80s. But there will be a sea breeze, which will drop things in the evening. And look at this little effect here. What is this, like a backdoor front or something? It's that drop in the dew point. I don't know what that's from. I'm sorry, temperatures. That looks like a backdoor front or something. That might be just from the thunderstorms, perhaps. But it won't drop as much tomorrow. Actually, oddly enough, it has it just slightly a little bit cooler tomorrow night, for whatever reason. But lows in the low 60s, and then for Friday, I think you have a chance of getting closer to 90 if you're in New Jersey, maybe western parts of Long Island, with mid to upper 80s, and then sea breezes later on in the day. So I want to actually go over the NAM and see what it's doing with this precipitation as well. We actually have 37 hours in. So let's take a look and see what it's doing for tomorrow as well. And you can see most of the activity is staying to the north. So let's go to the RGM. And not really showing a whole lot of clouds tomorrow. Maybe some scattered high clouds, and maybe you'll see some anvil blow off. It'll be hazy, though, with the smoke. And then Friday, high clouds will be on the increase. Speaking of the smoke, let's go to that next. We have the RAP smoke model out. So 21Z, we'll first start with this, the vertically integrated smoke. And you see that area red getting closer, inching closer to us. It looks like it comes in on us on, later tomorrow and Friday. It looks like it's going to be over us on Friday. So Friday, we could be dealing with some pretty hazy conditions, I think. So it's going to, that's what it looks like right now. That's the vertically integrated smoke model that we have. Let's look at the surface smoke. And you see some reds also with the surface smoke maybe trying to make its way in as well. So here we are. It's going to try. It's going to try to get in here. It may have a little trouble. It may wind up getting in here. I think it will wind up getting in here later tomorrow and especially on Friday, it looks like right now. It's like Friday could turn out to be quite smoky. You can see the red there almost. So that's showing some near-surface smoke right there that we could have. So let's go to the HRRR run. Yeah, we should have the full 0Z, and that's kind of why I waited a little bit later tonight, because I wanted to make sure we had the 0Z of the HRRR vertically integrated smoke, because kind of like this better, it's got a higher resolution. This is the vertically integrated smoke, and you see for tomorrow it's got a little bit, and then there's that red that comes in later tomorrow into Friday, and that's where we're going to really get some really hazy skies, I think. You're going to really notice it later tomorrow into Friday. Near surface smoke. So let's see. It doesn't show much of any near surface smoke tomorrow. But again, as you get toward Friday, we might wind up getting into it. The further north and east you are, the worse it'll be, I think. So that's what we got as far as the smoke goes. Let's go back and talk a little bit about Ernesto, and I just want to show you some of the models here, some of the more better graphic models talking about Ernesto. Here's Ernesto right here. We'll go to we'll change this to wind gusts. So you get a chance to take a look and see. So it has this thing strengthened. So this is the European model here, and you can see once you get the white, you know you're dealing with a major hurricane. You can see that white there, and unfortunately for Bermuda, this is Friday night into Saturday morning. Bermuda could get hit very hard right in the northeast. The winds in this white area here are over 100 miles an hour. So, yeah, we're dealing with it's showing 120. So, dealing with Category 3 hurricane. Might even reach a Category 4 for all we know. But it doesn't really weaken that much. So, here we are Saturday. It starts to slow up a little bit. You notice it's over that really warm water. Actually strengthens again because it's over that very warm water. When we looked at the Earth Nose School, we saw all this very warm water over here. So it's gonna still be possibly a Category 3. This is Monday, and you can see here once we get toward Monday, it starts to get a move on and threaten Atlantic Canada, and that this could be a concern here that we may have a major hurricane hitting New Atlantic Canada again. This has been happening a lot lately. That's all, again, due to those warmer waters at that latitude. We're seeing more and more of that due to, of course, climate change. That's the European model. And the other thing that it's going to do for us, and the effect that it's going to have on us, is the seas. So if we look at the waves, you'll see that we're going to start seeing some really not going to feel too many effects, but as we get towards Sunday, I think that's when we're going to start feeling some effects. And then the worst of it, though, because the track is off to the east, is going to be out over the ocean and toward Newfoundland. But you can definitely see Nova Scotia is going to get some elevated surf from that as well. So, Ventus Sky. This will be the other model we can use here. That we can show you here as well. On Ernesto, here's the track. And you'll see how it's going to pick up in intensity. So we go to Thursday, Friday, and you can see it's pretty strong. Not showing any signs of weakening. Here we are. And that area of black, definitely you're going to see a very strong storm. Look at how strong it is. Now just imagine if we had the right kind of setup to pull this thing into the coast, luckily we don't. Thank God we don't. Because this is, again, major hurricane here, still holding on to its strength. And this is, I think we're looking at the GFS here. Actually, it's showing the ICON model. Okay. So we're looking at the ICON model. You can see it making an impact, like the European, making an impact into Atlantic Canada, into Newfoundland. So you can see here, this could be a really big problem for them. And if this kind of setup, you probably have a blackout most of the island. I don't think their power grid can handle storms like these. They're not meant to get storms like these. But now this is the new normal that we're dealing with, the climate change. So we are going to see more of that. So that's going to wrap up this Long Island weather update. So thank you for watching. And main issue for us is just going to be, we're going to have to watch that smoke as we deal with that, and I'll keep you informed on that, because nobody else seems to want to talk about it enough. They are bringing it up, though, a little bit. Rich Hoffman brought it up. The local National Weather Service brought it up. But we're going to definitely, I think things could go downhill, especially later tomorrow and Friday. I think it's going to be very hazy, and you're going to probably smell it maybe a little bit as well. So have a good night.